on the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, right? So many teams are reaching out, trying to acquire Kevin Durant. Brooklyn is being patient, trying to wait and see what the best package will be for Kevin Durant. They don't need a rush. They have until September, until the offseason is over, and then they get into the season. I don't think Kevin Durant will start this season with the Brooklyn Nets. I imagine that the Nets want to get this done as soon as possible, but they are in their best interest to, ride it out, see what offers come in. I mean, there were reports as soon as it was announced, half the league reached out to see what was the asking price. And they were smart by waiting because we saw what happened with Rudy Gobert. I mean, that trade was ridiculous. All of the assets in return. Imagine what Kevin Durant would return for a team. So many teams would be willing to give it up because Kevin Durant, even at his age, you have him locked up for 4 years. And beyond locking him up for 4 years, he's still one of, if not the best player in the entire league. He is a literal game changer. And if you can acquire him without giving up, your core guys or your big guys to make up the contending team, then all the better for it. But that limits the pool in which teams can do that. But one of the teams that I've talked about a while back when I first, even before they made the announcement that Kevin Durant wanted to be traded, this was like several months ago. One of the teams I brought up were the Golden State Warriors. And now we are seeing reports that Golden State is interested in trading for Kevin Durant. The real question would be, would Kevin Durant want to go back to Golden State? And we'll touch on that a little more later in this video. But Golden State and Kevin Durant do make a ton of sense. I mean, they were literally unbeatable when Kevin Durant was on the Warriors. And I don't see that changing if he goes back. But the only reason they lost was because the entire team for the Warriors got injured. Otherwise, they would have three-peated, and then who knows what would have happened at that point. Maybe Kevin Durant still leaves because of all the drama and just craziness that happened. He felt spited. He felt like the Warriors didn't respect him and, that they didn't need him. The Draymond Green fallout, stuff like that. Again, I think you can get past that. But what would the trade look like? Well, the reported trade looks like this. Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Kuminga, and Wiseman. Now, you might be thinking that is a ton for the Warriors to give up. And I get it. I understand that is a lot for the Warriors to give up. But you get 4 years with Kevin Durant, and last time it was a blueprint for success. So if you win, let's say, another 2 NBA championships, you're fine. You're good. But beyond that, the Warriors are in a very unique position because they have to pay Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins or decide and choose between one of them or both of them, right? I mean, they're already ridiculously in the luxury tax and new contracts and things like that. They're going to have to do that the same. Now, Wiseman, I don't think that's a real loss there. The Warriors have never really had a real center. But beyond that, Wiseman hasn't even really played for them. So I don't think you're really losing anything there. They just won a championship without him. You're good. Wiseman, I don't think is a huge loss. He has a ton of potential. Okay, that's great. Let him develop in the Brooklyn Nets system, right? See what he becomes. Injury concerns, stuff like that. Now, Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins was arguably their second best player and most consistent player next to Steph the entire playoffs. I mean, he was great. He had such big games for them, especially in the NBA Finals. He was just locking down some of the best guys in the league. He was a huge component for him. I think out of any of these players, he's the one they should try to keep if possible, just because of what he offers. He can play multiple positions. He can guard multiple positions. He is a perfect fit as the fourth option, right? So he is a guy that even if you got Kevin Durant, Andrew Wiggins could still fit in. I think Andrew Wiggins will be the biggest loss for the Warriors. Now, Jordan Poole, I'm sure many of you may be looking at this and going, Jordan Poole is the biggest loss. The problem is Jordan Poole doesn't offer a ton outside of shooting, at least currently. He's still very young, has tons of room of growth and development and stuff. But we have seen time and time again with Jordan Poole, if his shot isn't falling, he's very ineffective. He's not a great defender by any means. He's turnover prone at times. All of those things are an issue when he's not knocking down a shot. When he's lights out and he's hitting 30, he's giving you 30 points a night, completely makes up for everything. And I do think he could be a very talented player. But there is a lot of concerns of, is it the system or is it Jordan Poole? because Jordan Poole gets a lot of easy buckets and a lot of easy wide open looks because of all the people around him. What if he is the number one or number two scoring option on a team? Is he going to be able to be that consistent? Is he going to be able to be that effective? And that's a concern going forward. Do you really want to pay him max money like you're going to have to and go heavily into the luxury tax for him when he's a guy that you don't really know? Was it just an incredible year, or is he really that guy? Was it because the Warriors have just so much talent, nobody's really worried about Jordan, and he's getting just looks that he would never get anywhere else? Or is he really that guy? Does it really matter? And those are a lot of questions. But I think that losing Jordan Poole is very likely sooner or later going to be inevitable for the Warriors. So if you can get back at Kevin Durant, why wouldn't you? And then Kuminga I think is a fantastic. I think he, next to Andrew Wiggins, would be the biggest loss. You talk about a 6'8" wing, guard multiple positions. He had a great just everything. I mean, he really is a guy that has a ton of potential in this league. He is a real gem, especially in a league that is so demanding of wing players, right? So he, I think, would be a tough loss. But again, he's a guy that would be okay to move off of. And you're getting Kevin Durant. I mean, seriously, it doesn't get any better than that. We already know what the formula with Kevin Durant looks like with the Warriors, so there's not the unknown or anything. As long as Kevin Durant buys in, this Warriors team is going to be ridiculous, and they're probably winning the championship again for the next several years. If they can all stay healthy, they're probably winning another 2, 3, 4 championships. It's just, we've already seen it, and there's no teams in the league like the Cavs or even the Rockets team that had that had those great battles. I mean, Phoenix, yeah, they're a little scary, but they're underwhelming, and there's many question marks with them. They're about to lose Ayton, and then the Warriors, they just won the championship. So it would be a tough loss. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to undervalue this trade. It is a lot to give up, but the Warriors are in a very unique position. The Warriors are already ridiculously in the luxury tax. Even without Kevin Durant, they're ridiculously in the luxury tax. They're going to have to choose between Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. And Andrew Wiggins, I'm not saying Andrew Wiggins is better, but he is more valuable to the Warriors. And that's a big difference that people need to understand. Because last time I did this video, I said the same thing. And people were like, no, you get rid of Wiggins, you keep Jordan Poole. I understand Jordan Poole's upside and things like that is great. But you're still in win now. You just won an NBA championship. You still have Steph and Clay and Draymond for the next, several years. You need to capitalize on your window as much as possible. And Andrew Wiggins is the better fit. He does more. He's more versatile than Jordan Poole is currently. The Warriors, they don't need more scoring. They need more guys like Andrew Wiggins who can defend multiple positions, who can, get putbacks, is athletic, all of those things. Does the intangibles, does the dirty work. Andrew Wiggins is more valuable to the Warriors. But if you're getting Kevin Durant, then that's huge. Again, we've seen, it's already been proven and tested, Doesn't get any more proven and tested than that. They won 2 championships. Again, Wiseman, I don't think is a big loss. Kuminga, I think really hurts. That I think is something that, I could see him going to the Brooklyn Nets and being just a stud for them. And it's just like, man, what could have been with him? I do. But you also have to be concerned about development, things like that, because you're in contention mode. Now, does that mean that all 4 of these guys will get traded? Probably not. I'm sure that the Warriors will try to work it out to maybe where they keep Wiggins or something like that. I don't think you can keep Kuminga. Wiseman, I think, is an automatic throw-in, and Jordan Poole. I think this is the best trade by far that the Brooklyn Nets could get than any other team. Even with Bridges and, Ayton, even even if the Toronto Raptors gave up Scotty Barnes, I don't think that they want to or are going to. But even then, you're getting 4 quality young players for your future. Plus, you're probably going to get draft picks, stuff like that. If this trade is on the table, there's no trade better than that. The big question becomes, would Kevin Durant buy in? Now, here's the thing. Kevin Durant, he was so comfortable and in such a great position with the Warriors. I think the same result can happen. He can get back in. He can be integrated in easily, fluidly. He understands the offense. There's not going to be any of that, understanding time, any of that, development and growth time, building that chemistry, stuff like that. We're going to see them just be great from the beginning because they've already been there. All of these, or at least reports, based on reports, all of the Warriors stars, so Steph, Klay, Draymond, they are all reaching out to Kevin Durant and telling him, like, we would love to have you back. Like, come back, man. Like, think of all the things we could do. We just won another championship. Like, let's go win another 3 or 4 more. You were happy here. You were good here. We had a falling out. But hey, it happens, I think that that's kind of the conversation. And I think if Kevin Durant comes back and they welcome him with open arms, I really think he may come back. He doesn't care about the backlash. He doesn't care about that. He already went through it. The backlash isn't going to be as much. I mean, it will be in the beginning. Oh, look, he couldn't win without the Warriors. But he don't care. He went through the firestorm already. Like, this firestorm is not going to be anywhere near the original firestorm. So he's fine. He goes back to the Warriors. He's in a great position. They're going to win more championships. I mean, it makes the most sense for Kevin Durant. Draymond goes over and apologizes. Draymond and him have squashed the beef. We've seen them in like little Twitter things back and forth and just poking fun at each other and just, it looks like their relationship is mended. Draymond's apologized, all of that stuff. I could see them kind of sitting down, having a conversation, being like, look, like, we had a dynasty. We would have been undefeated. We probably still wouldn't have lost. We would have won another 3 championships if it wasn't for injuries. Come back and let's do that. Let's go just run the league for the next 4 years. I think it would make a huge sense for Kevin Durant. Where else is he going to go where he knows he can be a contender, he knows he can be happy, and he knows the system, and there's not going to be any downtime, and, every checklist you could possibly imagine, Warriors fit that. All of the players on the Warriors are extremely unselfish. They welcomed Kevin Durant originally with open arms and all that stuff. Like, you're going to be in a great position. And I think it makes sense for the Warriors because, again, you have this window. Why not capitalize it the most you can? When were you literally unbeatable? Oh, that's right, when Kevin Durant was on your team. So why not replicate that? Why not go do that again? As much as it would be annoying to see again and the Warriors just running the league and winning the championship every year, if we're putting, our personal biases aside, it makes the most sense for both sides. It's a marriage that worked. It's a marriage of like, what could have we have been if we actually stuck it out and figured it out? He went and tried to do his own thing. It didn't work. He's done his own thing before. Didn't work. He went with his best friend and it didn't work. Like, how many times are you going to keep failing before you realize, like, this is the one? It's like the girl that you should be with, that you dated for like a year or 2, and you're like, man, you left her and now you regret it. And like, that's the one you should have been with. That's the one you should have married. Like, and now you have the opportunity to go back to her. Now you have the opportunity and she's welcoming you with open arms. Go back, win some championships, build on your legacy, build on your career. Like, people gave Kevin Durant the respect. I mean, he won 2 finals MVPs with the Warriors. Like, he was clearly their best player. So go back there, be their best player again, win some more championships. Steph has proven that he can be that dominant force because there were a lot of questions, right? Kevin Durant was putting up 30-plus points a game, and, Steph was his next best player and was putting up like 15 a game. Like, Steph just showed he can average 30 a game through a playoffs period. So you have that. Klay Thompson once again becomes your third option. He was not the same Klay Thompson last year. It would be better for him to be your third option rather than your second. So you have him. I mean, seriously, it makes all the sense in the world for both sides. And it's something that I've continued to reiterate, something I've talked about months ago. But as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think, yes, Kevin Durant should go back to the Warriors? It's where he fits. It's where it makes the most sense. It's where he was comfortable. He was happy. All of those things. If it wasn't for the falling out, if it wasn't for Warriors owners poking fun of him a little bit, and whether it was lighthearted or not, he's liquored up, wet his beak a little bit, said some stuff that kind of didn't rub Kevin Durant the wrong way. And then Draymond, everyone apologized. Everyone just kind of, stroke Kevin Durant's ego a little bit, make him feel wanted. I think Kevin Durant will come back. I do. But again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think about the proposed trade package? Like I said, I don't think that that's exactly how it's going to go down. I do think it's going to be at least Jordan Poole and Kuminga and Wiseman. Probably several draft picks, things like that. If I'm the Warriors, I would try to keep Wiggins because why not? I mean, Wiggins, again, has proven he could be your fourth, fifth option, and he's great at it. You need that defensive guy. You need that defensive wing and stopper, especially since you lost Porter Jr., stuff like that. It would be nice to keep him on the roster, but nonetheless, however they figure it out, they'll be fine. But love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.